I just don't think I can give you what you need.
You haven't even asked what I need.
I just can't ever make you happy.
Is this because I brought up an issue I had earlier and you feel like it's a personal attack?
See, even now you look upset, and I can't deal with you when you're upset because I don't even know how to understand my own feelings, let alone what you're feeling. So instead, I just make you feel like you're too much. I don't know how to say any of this to you directly, so I'm just going to slowly withdraw from the relationship. I'll stop getting back to your text or planning anything for us or really doing anything sweet at all for you.
Okay, why wouldn't you just come and talk to me about this? I try and talk to you about things, but you just get so defensive. I just want to know how you're feeling.
I don't talk about how I feel. Instead, I'll just pull away more and more and tell you I'm busy with work. I'm most comfortable in a disconnected relationship where you don't require much of anything from me. So you'll either get used to it or you'll pressure me to having more connection, and I'll just hope you eventually break up with me so that I don't actually have to.
If you have an avoidant partner, these are the three biggest fears that you have to know about. Number one is they fear losing freedom and independence, and so they'll be super sensitive to any perceived sense of control. You want more time with them? Feels like control. You want more communication with them? Feels like control. Whatever that you want more of from them will feel like control. Number two, they have a deep fear of not being enough, and so they will be very sensitive to perceived criticisms. If you have issues with them, they will see it as criticism. If you want them to help you with something, it will feel like a criticism. Number three, they fear uncomfortable emotions, and so they'll be very sensitive of conflict. So if you're angry, they'll feel scared and shut down. If you're sad, they'll feel overwhelmed and shut down. Overall, intimacy and closeness means them losing their freedom, more potential conflict, and them having their sense of inadequacy exposed. So of course, they'll do things like isolate, push away, lie, and so on. But the funny thing about this type of person is that they are very attracted to the anxious person whose needs trigger their deepest fears. And this goes both directions. For this type of couple, when there's an avoidant and there's an anxious, couples therapy doesn't work because you are dealing with deep-rooted childhood traumas, and communicating around them doesn't change it. What the anxious and the avoidant needs to do is deep inner child healing work to heal the trauma that caused these behaviors. But if they can do this work, whether they do it individually or together, it doesn't matter, then that is how they transcend this cycle and begin to become secure and actually get their needs met.
Dating or married to someone that has an avoidant attachment, these are three things that you have to know. Number one, when they hide things or lie, they are not trying to break your trust. They're extremely scared of conflict and being judged. They experienced this as a child, that being their authentic self was not safe. When they pull away from you, they are not trying to abandon you. They are scared of intimacy and being vulnerable. They grew up being punished or invalidated for being vulnerable. It was not safe for them to open up or depend on people close to them. Number three, when they have a hard time committing, it has nothing to do with you being not enough for them. They're scared of losing their independence because as a child, they couldn't depend on their parents to take care of their needs. They were let down or met with lots of control. And if you find yourself attracted to this type of partner, then you have an anxious attachment and you have your own full bag of unresolved trauma to heal as well. The only way to stop recreating these vicious cycles is to start healing the childhood pain that created these attachment styles. This is a journey that I guide people through. Follow me and visit my profile for more.
Avoidant, it's not like they're logically like, you know what, I'm just gonna manipulate the situation and pull away and make her feel like crap. In a split second, there is a reaction, and a reaction that has been going on for years, decades, that intimacy is not safe, that it's going to control you, it's going to take away your freedoms. And if you don't understand that and continue pushing people away without understanding why, and then logically you're like, oh, it's because you're just not the one, right? You'll rationalize, you'll say something without realizing these are ways I'm pushing away intimacy because deep down my nervous system is getting triggered and it's actually shutting down.
Wow.
What the avoidant will do when triggered is they'll deactivate, and what the anxious will do when they're triggered is they will try to hyperactivate. So they'll cling, they'll chase, they'll do whatever it is to reestablish connection, even if that means punishment or sparking a fight.
But I don't love you. I can't give you what you're looking for. You're such a good person and I'm not. I mean, you can do way better than me. I'm just gonna let you down. You know, I'm an extrovert and you're an introvert, so I just don't think this is gonna work out. I just need to be single and work on myself for a period of time. You know, I just got out of my long-term relationship like, you know, 8 months ago, and I really haven't had a chance to like find myself in the, 6 months that we've been dating. You're a morning person and I'm an evening person, so realistically speaking, we wouldn't even wake up at the same time, which is why we can't be together. I just don't love you anymore. I'm looking for spark, like real Hollywood chemistry. You give me chemistry, but I'm looking for like movie theater chemistry. And you see, if I'm feeling this way, well then clearly you're not the one for me. I just decided that I don't want to be in a relationship anymore. People can change their mind. Together, you're just gonna find something out about me that you won't like, and I'll just let you down in the end. Besides, you like mountain biking and I like mountain hiking, so clearly we're not even gonna be moving at the same speeds together, so it's not gonna work out between us anyways. I love you like I love a friend or a family member. I've just lost all feelings for you. And no, I can't see myself dating anyone anytime soon. I'd have to find the right person for me. In saying that, I don't want to lose you, so why don't we be friends?
Let's go over this again. What do we want? Connection and closeness with another person. Great. And what are we going to do when we get that connection? Sabotage it. No. Avoid vulnerability like the plague. Also no. Run away at the first sign of closeness. Jimmy. Take constructive feedback as an attack. Shut down during conflict, leaving my partner feeling unheard and alone. Nope. Dismiss and invalidate their feelings as irrational. Please don't do that. Numb out and suppress my feelings so far down that I don't even know if they exist anymore. That is not healthy. Be fiercely independent. You can't trust anyone but yourself. Who hurt you? Refuse to take accountability or apologize for anything because that would mean I'm a failure. That is untrue. Reject them before they can reject me. We're gonna get you some help, okay? I think if I'm honest deep down, I'm just scared of losing myself. What's that? If I truly let myself love someone and fully take my armor off, I can't protect myself from being hurt. That was so beautiful and so vulnerable, and I really think we can build. So I'm gonna ghost them and then just unknowingly repeat this process with someone else. No, we were so close.
Is it possible to heal from an avoidant attachment style? Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Naj. I'm a therapist, and I'm also a person with an avoidant attachment style that is on its way to being healed. So the answer to that question is yes, you can. But you're going to need a few things first. Number one, you're going to need to learn how to self-regulate really, really well. Substances, cell phones, TV, even work can be a distraction from what's going on inside of you. Number two, you're going to have to find a partner who's willing to tolerate how annoying you're going to be, because you are going to find a lot of reasons and excuses to not stay close to them. You're going to back up and you're going to come forward. You're going to back up and you're going to come forward, and you're going to drive them crazy. But you can find someone who can tolerate that, who understands this is part of your healing process. You can eventually heal. And number three, you're going to need to commit. You're going to need to let go of every fantasy that says, I'll be happier if I was with someone who was more like this. Or maybe I'm just not fit for a relationship. You got to let go of all of those ideas. Yes, stay put. Stay put long enough to prove to you and that partner that even though you might be backing off and coming back and bouncing around, they can always trust that you'll be there when they need you. And you can trust yourself that you're not going anywhere either.
So what does a dismissive avoidant want? What kind of relationship do they want? A severely dismissive avoidant person wants an ideal relationship that simply does not exist in the real world. They want a relationship that has no conflict, no disagreement whatsoever, no threat of emotional intimacy. And they want a relationship where there are zero, and I mean zero, expectations put on them. No expectations for physical intimacy, no expectations for emotional intimacy, and no expectations on the time, effort, and energy that they invest in the relationship. Any kind of conflict or disagreement, even the slightest disagreement, in the mind of the avoidant, it is an insurmountable problem. It means fundamental incompatibility with their partner. This goes back to childhood. This is a person that was emotionally neglected by their parents or caretakers. Their feelings were routinely dismissed. If they expressed themselves, not only were their emotions just completely blown off, they were often reprimanded for showing feelings. So this results in a person that believes that if they express themselves, they get emotionally rejected and abandoned. And also the lack of love caused them to feel like there was something wrong with them, that they are defective, not lovable. So a disagreement confirms these wounds to the avoidant. If there's a disagreement and their partner is upset, that means they did something wrong, which confirms that they are defective and not lovable. And this means that they are just fundamentally incompatible. It is all or nothing thinking, black and white thinking, something that severe dismissive avoidants are very prone to. Things are either all good or they are all bad. So conflict is something that they just can't handle, and they think the ideal relationship involves zero conflict. The expectations is another major trigger for the avoidant. When their partner asserts wants, needs, or holds boundaries, this triggers the same core wounds: defectiveness, not lovable. The avoidant wasn't able to meet the expectations of their parents or caretakers as a child. So they take this as pressure. And they believe they're ultimately going to disappoint their partner because they aren't good enough, that they're not lovable. They feel like they just simply can't give their partner what they need. So the avoidant will deactivate when they're triggered, regardless of whether it's a conflict trigger or a trigger based on expectations. When they deactivate, they take their feelings for their partner, they bury them, they suppress them. They don't allow themselves to access their own feelings. It's like a brick wall pops up inside themselves, and their feelings are on one side of the wall, and the avoidant is now on the other. And this is a person that has learned to avoid. That's why they're called avoidant. Avoiding processing the emotions, avoiding dealing with any kind of emotional, relationship, or life stress, avoiding self-reflection, and avoiding accountability. Avoid, avoid, avoid. So when they're triggered, they avoid. Now, in their mind, the relationship that they fantasize about, that they want, is one where they can get validation from their partner when they want it, when they seek it, on their time frame, on their terms. That they can show up, get some affection, get some physical intimacy, get validated, get desired, but then can go days or weeks at a time without seeing or even communicating with their partner. They want it on their terms, with zero conflict, zero disagreements, and their partner cannot express any wants or needs whatsoever. The avoidant gets their validation, and they get to feel wanted without letting this person in too close, without true emotional intimacy building. Anything outside of that is just overwhelming, is perceived as pressure, and wants and needs are a threat to the avoidant's sense of independence, a threat to their autonomy. Because when somebody expresses expectations or wants and needs, well, that's controlling, and the avoidant is losing themselves in the relationship, and they just can't deliver for this person. That's why they give these vague excuses like, I can't give you what you need. You deserve someone who can love you the way you deserve to be loved. They truly believe this because they truly believe that they are not good enough for a partner that has any kind of expectations, and they're not good enough for a partner that is emotionally available and shows them love. In summary, dismissive avoidants want a surface level relationship, completely surface level, where they get validation and have to give nothing in return. All the love and all the empathy in the world will not fix the avoidant. Let me repeat that. Your love, your empathy will not fix your avoidant partner or your avoidant ex. This person has to want to fix themselves. They have to want to heal themselves. They have to want to become a secure, healthy, emotionally available person. You can't force it. You cannot force this person to self-reflect. You cannot force them to face their unhealed traumas and their unhealed attachment wounds. Avoidance, avoid. That's why they're called avoidant. And part of that avoiding is avoiding emotions, avoiding the processing of emotions, and avoiding self-reflection. Because self-reflection means processing feelings, not suppressing them. It means seeing where you've gone right, seeing where you've gone wrong, taking accountability, reflecting on how your behavior impacts others. That's painful stuff. Avoidants have learned all the way back to childhood that you don't deal with emotions. You don't deal with painful stuff. You avoid it. You suppress it. This is the result of being emotionally neglected by their parents or their caretakers. Their feelings were routinely dismissed. In fact, perhaps even punished. When they showed emotion, they were shot down and potentially even punished and reprimanded for it. They carry this through to being an adult. If they have not healed themselves, if they have not faced their unhealed attachment wounds, they still associate love, empathy, emotional intimacy with abandonment, because they learn that the people that you rely on for your emotional needs will ultimately reject you and abandon you. These are deep, deep fears. So loving them harder, showing them more empathy is only going to trigger them more and more and more. This person has to get to the point where they want the change themselves. This usually means that the avoidant has to hit rock bottom of sorts, meaning that the pain of the consequences of their actions outweighs the pain of self-reflection. When they suffer some sort of consequence due to their own actions, and this consequence is usually the loss of somebody that they cared about, a person that genuinely was special to them that is no longer present in their lives due to the actions of the avoidant. That can be the wake-up call that they need.